It whispers in the wind, rustles through empty halls, and sometimes, just sometimes, it calls your name. You've heard it before, that split-second moment when you swear someone just spoke behind you, only to turn around and find yourself completely alone. Maybe it was just your mind playing tricks on you, or maybe something unseen was trying to get your attention. Welcome to Paranormal Nightshift. The shadows tell their secrets here, and your chilling fan stories come to life. Some encounters will leave you questioning what's real. Others will have you sleeping with the lights on. And a few will make you listen a little closer the next time you hear an unexplained voice in the dark. I'm your host, Gideon, your guide through the eerie, the unexplainable, and the downright hair-raising. Tonight, we peel back the curtain between worlds and step into a tale that proves some voices linger long after they should have faded. But before we dive into tonight's story, I've got something special for you that will take you beyond the veil of the ordinary. If you crave the supernatural, if you love a mix of ghostly mysteries and time-warping adventures, then visit paranormalnightshift.com and grab your free copy of The Birth of Dimensional Desperado, the first ebook in our Dimensional Desperado series. Follow Buck Shadow Sheriff Freeman as he chases spirits through history, uncovering lost truths and facing entities that refuse to be forgotten. Now that you're armed with a new adventure, it's time to return to the darker side of things. Tonight's story, The Night Someone Called My Name, comes from one of our listeners, Chuck. What started as just another routine night shift turned into something unexplainable, something that still gives him chills every time he talks about it. Turn down the lights, steady your nerves, and listen closely, because sometimes when a voice calls your name, it's already watching. I've always needed to see, or in this case, hear, something for myself before I could believe it. I couldn't buy into ghost stories, spooky whispers, or things that go bump in the night. I mean, I liked hearing them, sure. Who doesn't love a good scary story, but experiencing something? That was a whole different thing. Then I took a third-shift job at a factory in Iowa, and one night I became the story. Like any other third-shift worker, I quickly got used to the eerie quiet that comes with working when the rest of the world is asleep. Factories aren't like office buildings. When empty, they don't feel dead, like they're waiting. Machines stand still. The air hangs heavy, and every sound, no matter how small, seems much louder than it should be. I wasn't alone on my shift. My backup lead worked with me. He was a no-nonsense type of guy, had been around for years, and wasn't the kind to make up stories just to spook someone. But one night, he told me something that made me raise an eyebrow. He was the third shift lead in a completely different department, separate from where we worked. Part of his job was starting up the factory on Sunday nights. He was the first person inside, unlocking the doors, flipping the switches, and getting everything warmed up for the week. And he swore he heard voices, not just noises, actual voices, whispers, people talking, not machinery settling, not pipes creaking, whispers. And the thing that got me, he was alone. No one else had punched in yet. No one else was on site. It was just him and whatever that was whispering in the empty factory. As I said, I wasn't the type to buy into that. Factories make weird noises. Air circulates, vents shift, and metal expands and contracts. But the way he said it, the way his face got serious when he told me, it stuck with me, but I still wasn't entirely convinced. Until the night I heard it for myself. That night, it was just the two of us. My backup lead and I unlocked the doors, walked through the silent break room, and exited the dark production floor. We had done this 100 times before. The routine was always the same. Unlock, walk through, flip the breakers, turn on the lights, and get things started. Nothing weird, nothing creepy, until that night. We had just reached the breaker panel. The factory was pitch black except for the dim emergency lights glowing along the ceiling. The kind of light that barely lets you see what's in front of you, but makes the shadows even darker. I was reaching for the switch when it happened. A woman's voice, loud, clear, and she yelled a name. Chuck. It wasn't faint like a distant conversation, nor garbled like some mechanical sound bouncing off the walls. It was sharp, direct, and intentional, and it sounded like it came from somewhere deep within the factory. I froze. My hand was still on the breaker switch, but I couldn't move. My body locked up like I had just stepped into freezing water. I slowly turned my head to look at my backup lead. He was already looking at me. His face was blank. His eyes were wide. Neither of us spoke. Neither of us needed to, because we both heard it. And we were alone. When I tell you I got goosebumps, I mean it in the worst way. It wasn't like a fun, spooky Halloween kind of scare. It was pure, primal fear, the kind that makes your stomach drop and your heartbeat feel too slow and fast simultaneously. I wasn't cold, but I was shaking. My hands felt clammy, and I understood what people meant for the first time when they said, "It felt like something was watching me." But we didn't run. We didn't even speak. We just turned the lights on, and we went about our night like nothing happened, because that's what you do in a factory at night. You don't ask questions. You don't go looking for answers. You keep working. But we didn't take our breaks alone. Not that night, not for the rest of the shift. We ensured that if one of us went to the break room, the other was coming too. And we never walked into that building at the start of the shift without speaking, to remind ourselves that we were the only ones supposed to be there. Every time I tell this story, I get chills. Every single time. And I still don't know who or what called out that night. Over the years, the factory has had hundreds of employees, people coming and going, and names being forgotten. But someone was still there. And they were looking for Chuck. But here's the kicker. No one named Chuck had ever worked there. Not on our shift, not on any shift, not in any department. So who or what was calling his name? I don't think I'll ever know, and honestly, I don't think I want to. With that, we close another chapter in the book of the unexplained. Chuck, thank you for sharing your incredible experience with us. A chilling reminder that sometimes, when a name is called in the dark, it does not always come from the living. But what do you think? Was Chuck's encounter just a strange trick of sound in an empty factory, or did something or someone genuinely try to reach out to him from beyond? Let us know. Head over to Spotify or YouTube, comment, and join the conversation. Your thoughts, theories, and stories make this community what it is. If tonight's story sent shivers down your spine, why not keep the adventure going? Consider supporting the show on Patreon, where you'll get ad-free episodes and early access to all future Dimensional Desperado adventures. So don't miss out. Not ready to join Patreon? No worries. You can still support us by subscribing to Spotify and YouTube. A simple click goes a long way in keeping these stories alive and bringing you even more encounters from the unknown. And don't forget, your next supernatural journey awaits. Head to paranormalnightshift.com to grab your free copy of The Birth of Dimensional Desperado. This is the perfect read for you if you love eerie tales, time-traveling mysteries, and ghosts that refuse to be forgotten. But before we go, do you have a story? A moment that made your heart race? A night when the shadows felt too close? A whisper that shouldn't have been there? If so, we want to hear it. Submit your authentic paranormal experiences at paranormalnightshift.com. And who knows, your story is the next one we bring to life. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, when the night calls your name, sometimes it's best not to answer. This is Gideon signing off until the next night shift begins.